Disclaimer: I am not a lawyer. Zack and Miri Make a Porno is a Miramax film and is owned by Kevin Smith, View Productions, the Weinstein Company, and their respective owners. This video is in accordance to the copyright law and follows the 5 points of the Fair Use Clause in the copyright law.
No children.
Hit me! Let's put a smile on that face.
Backwards for that girl, knowing she ain't giving up no love.
We got a good thing going, man.
Why complicate that with sex?
What the? What happened to the water?
They shut it off.
Help me get this out of my hair. Just use the water out of the toilet.
There's poo in there.
The back part of the toilet.
I don't think we're gonna keep a roof over our heads. These are the exact circumstances people find themselves in right before they start having sex for money. What, you got an idea?
We could make a porno.
Not the idea I was looking for.
It's all mainstream now.
I don't really see myself being in one, you know?
Look at Paris Hilton. She's selling fragrances to tweens, and I'm pretty sure she's legally retarded. The ones I liked when I was a kid, it was always a spoof of a popular movie.
I got it!
Star Horse.
What? Han Solo ain't never had no sex with Princess Leia in the Star Wars. I'm gonna just be honest, it's my first time. I'm not gonna touch you, nothing like that. I have a wife, we're happy. I mean, not happy, but it's cool. It's my job as the producer to see what you got. If that makes you uncomfortable, I love the movies.
Does she have a talent?
It's a little something I picked up during bachelor parties.
Her name Bubbles.
You are my candy girl.
We're doing it.
What's happening?
Wait, are we doing it?
You've never thought about the repercussions of sleeping with a chick you've known your whole life? What are you, slow?
Yeah, but it's for getting rich. You just explain to your private beforehand. Look, this doesn't mean anything.
Do you talk to your...
Yeah.
I just can't believe.
Hi,
Hi.
I'm a delivery man, and I have some cream for you.
This is the worst porno I've ever seen.
Thanks for tuning in and welcome to today's movie review of Zack and Miri Make a Porno, starring Seth Rogen, Elizabeth Banks, Brendan Ralph, Justin Long, Jason Mewes, Jeff Anderson, and yes, Katie Morgan. I gotta tell you, I honestly don't fully know where to go with this movie. To make this simple for casual movie fans, this film can be broken down into two halves or 2 point of views. First, there is the point of view. You either were two kinds of people watching this movie, a casual moviegoer and a Kevin Smith fan. For a casual moviegoer, this movie meets good comedic standards. Its pacing is well. It'll be funny and romantically charming. Performances will be right on and you'll feel at the very least content with this movie, but will most likely end up enjoying it more. Now for the other end of the point of view, a rough patch as it were, Kevin Smith fans watching this. As your average movie, Zack and Miri Make a Porno meets the needs of an entertaining film, but for Kevin Smith film, it tends to hit and miss at certain points. You see, I absolutely love Kevin Smith's work, and I was ecstatic to see this movie after Clerks 2, and I expected this to end up killing me via laughing to death, but that just wasn't the case. Granted, it isn't quite fair to expect it to be better than Clerks 2, and it does go against the film having to follow up Clerks 2, but this movie didn't seem to fit well enough to hang with any of Smith's prior work, such as Chasing Amy or Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back to name a few. Now that doesn't mean that I hated this film or that I thought it was bad. All I'm saying is that it didn't meet the level of Smith's usual to full potential, and this can't be considered some of his weaker work if you've seen all of his past work. For Smith fans, this movie may be a bit of a letdown, but regardless of its flaws, this movie does have its moments where it shines. For more picky people like me who watch this movie, it really doesn't start to pick up till the middle of the first half. When Jeff Anderson's character is introduced is when the movie really starts to pick up in classic Kevin Smith style, and from there on it tends to be a roller coaster with its moments of ups and downs. One thing that kind of bugged me was the fact that this movie leaves the realm of Smith's strengths, which have always been his Jersey whacked out realistic dialogue heavy flicks. He's established a world all of his own on the big screen with characters people have learned to know and love for over 10 years in 7 films now, and changing his style all of a sudden kinda takes you away from the movie a bit if you've seen all of his past work and you're used to it. This change of style isn't bad, but to faithful fans, this film is kinda like culture shock, but for movies. For those who don't know what culture shock is, I'll give you a little example. Culture shock is when you're introduced to a completely new world out of nowhere after knowing only one world. Anyways, this change of style does need some getting used to since it's a Kevin Smith movie, but looks completely like a Judd Apatow movie. I mean shit, the movie basically borrows Apatow's entire cast. Speaking of the cast, that's another weak point of the film that can take old fans like me away from the movie. A lot of people give Smith flack for always using the same cast members in his movies, but there's a good reason why he does that, and that is because his general cast members know his movies the best. They are seasoned veterans to Smith's movies and basically pull off the best performances for his films regardless of how good other actors may be. While Banks and Rogen's performances and chemistry were solid, they pale in comparison to Dante and Randall's or Jay and Silent Bob's for that matter. The list can go on, but my point is that Smith's old cast members are the best people for a Kevin Smith movie since they know his stuff better than anyone else. In his past films, all the dialogue sounded fluid and real, like a conversation you would have with your friends, but with Zack and Miri it just doesn't sound natural or like how people would really talk in reality. The film also has its charming moments, but again, it's kind of watered down when you compare it to his past films that did a better job with the charm of certain relationships. With my basic complaints aside, Zack and Miri isn't without its strong points. Jeff Anderson, Jason Mewes, and Justin Long completely steal the show when they are on screen, and it's just a treat and a riot to watch these guys do their thing. The movie's absurd stupidity at times does hit the mark to make you laugh, even though it's a little more sophomoric than the usual Smith film. While humorous sometimes, the film's dialogue tends to fall flat. It isn't bad, but it just tries too hard to be funny, and you just won't end up having the reaction Smith intended on getting with his dialogue. Plus, I know that his movies have a crazy amount of cursing, and I, for one, shouldn't look down upon someone for cursing, but I mean, goddamn, even I think this film had too much cursing. I mean, some parts didn't even really need it, but I guess Smith just ordered everyone to say a curse word on every other line of the script. With that aside, performances were solid, although they didn't deliver full force like in past films, and shockingly, to my surprise, porn stars can act. Katie Morgan kept up with the big dogs as it were in the movie, and she avoided being mindless eye candy like in many comedic movies. Overall, this movie was fun to watch despite its flaws, but that's only due to the fact that it falls a bit flat when compared to other Kevin Smith movies. The general public will enjoy this, if not find it hysterical, and the macho and male teen crowd can enjoy porn stars running around for a while. While not Kevin Smith's strongest film, it does satisfy, and everyone should have fun. Oh, and to answer Kevin Smith's question about this movie and what he would do if he wasn't a director, yes Kevin, you would be able to make porn for a living. Aside from that, one has to wonder how he'll fare with the next movie genre that he'll be tackling, which will be horror. Well, we just gotta wait and see. Zack and Miri Make a Porno gets an 8 out of 10.